Hi, it's Tom here from FDS. It's been a while. Thanks to those of you who stuck with the channel during thick and thin. And today we are going to be testing this, which is my Metric Lynx by Viking foam. And if you want to get yourself one of these, I shall put a link to their website in the description box. And if you want to know all about the original design for this, if you go and watch last week's twin, Addy does some stuff on the Lynx. This is the metric version, and the hardware kit is by Herbmeister, and then all the 3D print is by Nicholas over at Viking Foam. And mine is dark black for a reason, and the reason is that if I choose to paint this, obviously I've got a good base, I can just paint and dip straight on it, and it is illegal to use this on the street in the UK or in any public place. So those of you who are going to have a big fit about it being all black, it's black because I wanted it black, and it's quite safe and legitimately okay to do that, provided you don't go walking around the street with it. So there's our safety discussion over. We're going to test this exactly as it is. I haven't done anything to it. I've fired about 50 or 60 test shots through it, so the barrel may have a little bit of foam build up on it. It's an aluminium barrel. I haven't polished it. I haven't touched any of the internals. It's the spring it ships with from Viking Foam. Otherwise, completely stock Lynx. So this would be exactly what you would get from Viking Foam should you buy one. A word of caution, the V2 is coming out, and the V2 apparently has a lot of improvements. If you're looking for something that's over 200 feet per second, then I suspect you're going to want to hold on for the V2. I have no idea what this shoots because I haven't chronoed it at all. So we're going to use worker Stefan darts, because I've got lots of worker short darts, and these are all brand new. So I'm going to do a 50 dart shoot, and I'll shoot 52 darts, but I'll remove the high and low outliers like usual to give you a full spread of data. The link to the spreadsheet for all the data is down below in the description box, so you can see everything. So let's see what kind of power we get out of this rather nice looking little bullpup blaster. Now I can't fault the print quality on this, it's really nice. None of the parts seem to have stressed or been in any way looking like they were going to break when I test fired. And the one thing I would say is there's a little bit of movement in the centre here laterally, and I don't like how the barrel is unsupported, but I'm going to look at rectifying all of that stuff and tweaking this as we go. Okay, we are going to look at the averages for the Metric Lynx by Viking Foam. So we've got a high of 198 feet per second, low of 171, average of 188 feet per second, extreme spread of 27, standard deviation of 6. Okay, so there you have the results for the Metric Lynx. And obviously these are worker darts, so they're fairly easy to compare with some of my other short dart builds, and I'll see whether I can get more power out of this with a bit of tuning. And if you want an additional spring for this, Silver Fox Industries makes a very nice anodized spring for this, and I'm pretty sure that that fits. Do contact them. They are also the US distributor if you want a Imperial US market based Lynx. They do these, so do get hold of Silver Fox Industries. I'll put the link in the description box. Now, stuff I didn't like about this. Obviously, I'm pretty unused to the prime. I haven't primed a lot of heavy springers. I don't use them very often, so it's going to take me a little while. You'll see I had one or two little issues with the odd short stroke there, which is just to do with its tiny length versus my shoulder. But I bought this to be different from my Pone Sniper, because that's a long arm, and this is a little bit more compact. I'll be testing this in games. We're going to do some 2v2 and some 3v3 to comply with local regulations. And we're going to be running some high power stuff on my own private land. So I'll be a good chance to test this. The thing I don't like about this is the grip at the front. I wish it had a much more ergonomic grip. I'm not a fan of just bare rail. I think it's easy to print something, or at least offer options on the grip. I'm sure that that's something that you can probably get from other distributors, and I got mine just off the peg as is. And obviously you can add things to there. You can add a hooligan grip if you want, or an AFG. I haven't tried anything except these. I'm sure that I'll try some other stuff as we go with that to try and mess with it a little bit more. Generally, it does feel very secure. I like the Metric hardware kit. The machining is nicely done on this. Props to Herb for that. All the screws fit good and tight, and Nicholas has done a fairly good job of assembling this. I'd say it's probably 90% of how I would put something together, so he's doing pretty well. It needs some fettling. When I did some testing with this, I found that the top rail and the barrel weren't parallel, so it was very hard to sight this in. So even using my little pop-up sight, I couldn't get it to really zero. It would always be too far to the left to get within the range, which is kind of annoying, but I think that that's to do with the fact that currently the barrel floats. It stops about here. So it's not actually coming right the way out here of the end of the blaster. And I want to see what a barrel change does for this. There's a number of different barrel sizes you can mess with on these. People put scars on them and loads of other stuff. But what I did like about this was it is extremely savage. Over open sights with a little bit of practice, you can bullseye targets pretty effectively. I was getting about 4 shots out of 5 on a paper plate size target at 60 feet. And those were pretty tight groupings. Within the 3 to 6 inch region in terms of spread, which with a Nerf dart and just straight out the box is pretty good. So for medium to short range engagements at 200 plus ultra stock events, I would imagine this would be pretty savage. And certainly if you play a more CQC style and you don't mind the fact that the rate of fire is a little slower, this does reward you with its relatively short size because of obviously it's a true bullpup and its compact nature. It's a great little CQC blaster and it does shoot nice over open sights. You don't really need a scope on it. You can just eyeball the rounds and it's very, very easy to do that. And it rewards kind of consistent play and good shooting. So it is a good fun blaster to use. Obviously it is quite a heavy prime, so if you're slightly smaller in stature, you'll find that this does hurt to prime quite a lot, and I know teenage kids sometimes have trouble priming this, which is probably a good thing. And I've found it quite fatiguing to use over long periods because I'm not that hench. So just bear that in mind. Obviously it's going to build some shoulders for you, so it's not all bad. But all in all, very good value for money. If you're looking for an entry-level ultra stock blaster, you could do much worse than to get one of these. And I like the fact that it's metal hardware and it's nicely put together. And obviously there's room for mechanical improvement in terms of the setup and just, you know, getting rid of this lateral twist. Right, let's just try and illustrate that lateral twist. So you can see I've got a fair bit of movement within the body. So that's something that I'll seek to correct as I go and build it up. Thank you very much for watching and look out for further tests. Good to be back. Stay safe.